must take into consideration the fact that for many of the people coming into this country, including Afghanistan, where I'm from, there are no legal routes. You have made every route illegal by making it no legal routes.
Do you know what? Where we see boatloads of men of a fighting age coming over, and the British public slightly now are starting to go.
When you say...
It was good to see this woman who believes no human is illegal, the only one defending illegal immigration. Everyone else on the panel and even all the callers disagreed with her. That made her become emotional and irritable because no one shared her stance. She was defending illegal immigrants so passionately because she came to Britain illegally, it turns out. Even one caller, an African woman who now had British citizenship, called in to say, why don't we just use the Navy to turn the boats back to France? She argued no one would pay her bills if she lost her job, so why should all these men come here and be given everything for free? Her opponent on the panel says, it's time we just put our own people first. We all know that will never happen under Labour. He then rightly argued that we are a small island and we can't just keep taking in so many people. She predictably disagrees, saying we have a shortage of jobs. What a preposterous argument. Firstly, if we need to fill jobs, I'm sure we can find other people to fill them before we need to turn to men who came here illegally from third world war zones. Plus, many discard their documents, so we have no idea who they are. British citizens can't just go get jobs without background checks, so the idea they should is utterly insane. Then we are told to firstly ask, why do these people want to leave their homes in the first place? Why they want to leave their homes is not our concern. We need to worry about ourselves, which means stopping them from coming here. Worry about this country before we worry about anywhere else in the world. And they are coming from France, which is a safe country. We're informed they've come illegally because we have shut down all legal routes. Good! We need to stop acting like one big giant migrant camp. We shouldn't have safe routes for every man and his dog from everywhere in the world. Well, not dogs, because most of them hate dogs. Another reason I don't want them here. The fact is, we all know Labour will never deal with this. They are trying to make omelettes while refusing to break any eggs. It can't be done. They believe no human is illegal and all refugees are welcome. No one with those as their fundamental beliefs can be trusted to stop the boats. Take a listen.
He said he was going to smash the boats and stop the criminal gangs who are behind this. And instead of smashing them, he's put out the welcome mat. And to be fair to him, the only positive thing I would say is he inherited a situation, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it seems no matter how much money as a country we throw at this particular issue, it seems to attract more and more people who see the United Kingdom as a place where they can go and be safe, maybe, primarily, where they can be absolutely guaranteed a place to live, support financially, and all the things that this country can offer. And as a country, we are extremely welcoming, generous and understanding. I think we've got to a point where we see boatloads of men of a fighting age coming over, and the British public slightly now are starting to go.
When you say
this is non-stop.
When you say he's put out the welcome mat, what do you mean?
Well,
has he done any differently than the?
Well, he's done nothing, and that's the precise point. In the run-up to the election, he said, we are going to stop the boats. We are going to smash the gangs. But he also said a lot of other things as well that we know about. You know, we're going to do this, that and the other that haven't quite materialised. I think that this is a really significant problem that is costing the United Kingdom, a country that is essentially skint, millions and millions and millions of pounds a week that we can ill afford. So why don't we stop that, give the pensioners their winter fuel payments, and spend money on our own people unless they pass an extremely rigorous entry questionnaire and are genuine asylum seekers.
Nella,
Your question directly, if we take away all the rhetoric and all the emotional kind of language out of it, this is a numbers game. This is an issue with the number of people who are coming here on small boats, risking life and limb for themselves, their children, often with nothing to go back to, coming from absolutely obliterated. Have we ever stopped to question why we have so many people trying to come to the UK? Is the world a safer place than when Keir Starmer took office? Is it a more volatile place? What's happening in those countries to ensure that people don't actually make the perilous, or I've made that journey, I know what that's like, to risk everything, the safety of your family, your life itself. If we set aside the fact that these aren't just people and just look at the hard numbers, the Illegal Migration Act will give more powers to control the borders, to enforce laws, moreover, to return people who come by illegal means, which I'm actually dubious whether that's even legal under international law. Say we get all of that in place. It's not going to stop people from coming. It's not going to stop people from coming. The question here at hand, if we take away the flowery language, is what do we do with them once they're here? We process them, we decide whether they can stay or leave. For the last 14 years, it was obvious that the previous government did not care about the migrants coming in or processing them. All they wanted to do was to have something, a battering ram, something to have over the British public. So whenever the government went into disarray, they had something to point at and went, look over there, there's some illegals. More importantly, and this is really, you must take into consideration the fact that for many of the people coming into this country, including Afghanistan, where I'm from, there are no legal routes. You have made every route illegal by making it no legal routes.
Do you know what? It is a numbers game. It costs this country millions of pounds a week. We have a small island where the population is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We can't fit so many people in. We don't have an infrastructure.
We do not have enough people of working
age
in this country. One of the biggest problems we're going to face in the next 10 years is the fact that we have more old people who are out of work than young people who can work. I'm not saying that the solution to this is to allow more boats in. What I'm saying is let's be proportional and realistic with what we're talking about. But one more thing, and this is really important for us. When a migrant, a refugee from Afghanistan, Albania, from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, comes over here, they're not thinking about the $1 million sign on top of their forehead to the taxpayer. Okay. They just don't want to die.
I want to take as many calls as we can on this. Anne is in West Yorkshire. What do you think, Anne, is Keir Starmer, is Yvette Cooper? Are they failing to deal with this problem?
Absolutely failing, being far too soft on the problem. And that's why everyone is voting for Nigel Farage. And he's so popular now because people know he will do something about it. Oh. And they ought to be taking a hard line like Australia and doing it properly. OK, so what are you suggesting? What is he suggesting that you agree with would be the answer to this problem? Well, I think just to take the Australian attitude towards it and deal with it like the Australians do and be a bit hardliner. Well, I'm not saying that there should be no refugees. Specifically what, though, Anne? What do you do with them when they reach the shores of the United Kingdom? Well, as I have already said, I think they should be dealt with a little bit more harshly. You're not actually saying return back to the countries they have come from if they come here illegally, and they're not being returned in the numbers that they're coming in. Okay, one of the statistics I saw looking through this, Nelofer, is about a quarter of returns to countries are actually enforced. Is that enough? Could we be boosting those numbers? There is nothing. Listen, I'm not against controlling the border. I do agree with you that this is in disarray. We are not serving the refugees and the migrants who are coming here at all. And we're not serving taxpayers. Nobody is winning in this situation. A refugee who comes to this country doesn't want to be in a detention centre or locked up or cooped up as much as anyone else does. And we pay for that. What I'm trying to say, the Australian method is interesting, Anne, because Australia is genuinely an island in the middle of nowhere, very hard to get to, unlike the UK, which has got many neighbouring countries. We have people trying to get over from France, we have people trying to get over from Morocco, from Libya. We've got a much more vulnerable coastline. But it's a case of
People want to come to Britain because we are fair, because we are
We have a
equitable.
vulnerable coastline, Nella, because it's not managed correctly by the government.
Yes, that's not the refugees' fault. They are going to continue to try to come here.
It may make them think twice. For example, just a very quick point. A lot of these people, as you say, are coming from, like yourself, Afghanistan, Syria, Iran. But why would somebody from that part of the world, a warmer country than this one, want to come to a freezing, cold, inclement weather Northern European?
Climate, though, is
Why?
it? I mean, we're talking about war zones, Russ. We're talking about people leaving.
Do you know why?
fractured
Because
societies.
for 15
Why would
years,
why hasn't
because
Saudi
for 50
taken
because
anybody?
for 15 years they saw the British on their land fighting a war.
Okay, let's take
That's
another.
why.